Hey everyone, welcome back to the Passive Buddies podcast. Obviously, guys, I know it is uncertain times. It is crazy right now. Petrol's through the roof or gas, but it's still a world out there that you can make money. So today's episode is all about, is it harder to make money during these crazy times? Today, as usual, I have got my podcast co-host. That was a mouthful. Brandon Duff. Obviously, to talk about this, as we are both in the space where we sell something, and let's see if it's actually impacted us at this time. Brandon, how's things?
I'm doing good, man. I just got my cup of coffee. It's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm ready to take a delicious sip of that. And so life is good. How are you, man?
Perfect time to take a drink. Yeah, I'm good, mate. No, absolutely smashing it today. Yeah, I think things are flowing. Things are flying, mate. It's I feel positive energy today, pal. Lots of it.
It's probably after that episode we just did. I mean, if you guys are not subscribed to the podcast, you guys should definitely listen to our last podcast, which was about how failures can make you money. And I think this kind of goes right hand in hand with kind of the whole economy, because the economy is in a kind of a whirlwind right now. I remember I was in 2007, 2008 during the financial crisis, the great financial crisis, where the whole stock market, housing market crashed. And I was a personal trainer, and I really didn't know like any different. I remember one of my clients being, because she was a financial advisor, and she literally saw millions of dollars being drained overnight. And so I had no fathom of that. And so I just continuously worked like as a trainer as if nothing has changed. And so I feel like that's the same thing that's happening today. Is we are going through this crazy, financial hardship with the economy, gas, inflation, everything quite high right now. And I'm just building, man. I'm really not focusing on what other people are doing, really, or what's, I work from home, so I don't really get affected by the gas. I mean, maybe a little bit changes in food pricing, but how are you feeling? Like, do you feel that besides the news and all the kind of media hyping it up as this huge, crazy thing? I mean, obviously I saw the crypto market crash 60 or 70%. But if you go into it with a mindset of like you can accumulate at these low prices right now, then, or even have that mindset shift where you're kind of, I don't know why I can't speak today. Mindset shift where, yeah, and I haven't had a sip of coffee yet. Where you are focused on building during these times versus like what the media is trying to tell you, then I think you'll do really, really well. What are your thoughts?
To be fair, the one thing I have done over the course of growing up, like obviously 2008, how old was I? That's 20, that's 12, 14. I was about 14, 15 years old. Like, I was still in school. I did not know what was going on.
Right.
So yeah, I don't really remember 2008 like at all. Not because I was drunk or anything. It's just obviously it's one of them. But in terms of right now, like obviously as I've got older, my news just doesn't get turned on. I was like, because it's an absolute joke. Like,
it is.
Everything's a big scare. Like everything's like, whether you believe in it or not, or whether you believe in the agendas, or it doesn't matter. Like, it's just negative. You don't need that crap. Like, because as horrible as it sounds, like 9 times out of 10, the news isn't affecting you. Like, it isn't affecting you directly. So why the hell are you listening to it? There is obviously major things going on in the world, and I get that. But obviously, is it like, and you're feeling the direct impacts of it? As you say, you've said food costs, like food costs have gone up, petrol or gas has gone up. Like, I drive like a big Q7. Like, oh my God, like to fill that tank up now is ridiculous. But over the last couple of years, like, as much as like it's all been doom and gloom, like obviously with like coronavirus, obviously the pandemic, the war, like everything that's going on, the only thing that is obviously solidified in my mind is if you want to be stable in life, you can't just rely on your job. Like, you can't rely on that 9 to 5 that you thought was safe, that you've just been sacked from in the last 2 years because like these companies haven't got any money. Like, there's still money floating around. There's still money everywhere. You just need to find the right opportunities. So the whole 9 to 5 scenario, like, you're not safe, like, you're not free. You have a little bit of money, but that salary is basically there to chop your wings off and stop you from flying. So it's a case of like, there's, apart from the security that isn't really there anymore, there's not much point having a 9 to 5, but it does bring consistent cash flow, which is a good thing. Like, obviously, in terms of the 9 to 5, the consistent cash flow is a good thing, but the trade-off isn't probably. So one thing there is, obviously, you have to build multiple streams of income. Like, whether it's an extra $500, whether it's an extra like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 per month, you have to build something. So when things are happening, you're not affected. Like, we've been going back to, and we've been referencing it quite a lot in the few episodes, only because it's a recent thing. But like, for instance, like, you lost 40,000 in crypto in Luna. And as I said, like, every time we spoke about that episode, and obviously I seen you that basically the next day, you still had the smile on your face. And the reason you had a smile on your face is because you have multiple streams of passive income. And so when things are going bad, when the price of petrol is going up, or that loaf of bread is now £2 instead of £1, like, the people who are affected are the people who relied on their 9 to 5. They're the people who are now feeling the pinch and feeling the pain. The people who've gone and created a side business, created an online business, gone and produced extra income from something, they're not feeling it as much because they're not relying on that one sole or piece of income.
Right. Yeah, I think it's when it's funny because we talked about on 9 to 5, and I just made a post, I think it was yesterday, and I was like, it's crazy to think that a lot of people think they have to give a 2-week notice to their employer, but if a employer wants to fire you on the spot, they can. And so that's really not security, because why are you having to let the employer know that you are leaving in 2 weeks, but they can just fire you right away? Not only that, I mean, it's costly to go to a 9 to 5. You need special clothes. You need like work attire. You need gas, which is going up. You spend time driving to work, so they're eating up extra time. You could be, staying home and spending that extra time with your family. So I think having a side hustle or something that allows you to create multiple streams of income is going to help quite a lot of people at any time. I mean, the more money you can make, the more you can use to reinvest in stocks that pay dividends, which is another stream of income, real estate, which has multiple streams of income within it, from tax benefits to cash flow to deductions, to lowering your taxable income. I mean, all sorts of different things, to having like a side hustle, like affiliate marketing, where you're getting recurring income from products that you promote. And, you just tell a few people every single day, and it doesn't take that much work. You can do it on your lunchtime and be able to make, and as a couple dollars or a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 every single month, that's going to help you kind of lower your overall expenses, because you're making more. It's not lowering your expenses, but you're making more. So it's helping you feel more secure. And I think that if you're able to do that, just like you said, you're not going to feel the burden of these extra price increases, from gas to food to clothing to cost of goods. All of this is going to help you really get over the hump of all the negativity we hear in the world. I mean, and today with like inflation, I mean, it's one thing after another. I mean, and that's why you should not listen to the news. And I'm glad you said that in the very beginning, but shut off your media, your mass media. Just subscribe to this podcast.
I knew that was coming.
Because we're going to tell you like how it is, and you're not going to be really put in a direction that's going to make you feel bad, from like the war, from the coronavirus, from taxes, from inflation, all these things that are just there to keep you in fear.
And I think obviously I'm glad you mentioned inflation, because that was sort of my next thing is like inflation, say it's 10%. Like, so you're already 10% down. So where it go, do you know what? We know you're in trouble, so we'll give you a pay rise. Here's 2%. Right. Okay. So I'm still 8% down. Great. Okay.
Right.
So I'm actually losing money. If you can go and create an online business and a side hustle, like, I don't like the word side hustle. I prefer online business, because side hustles devalue what you're actually doing.
Right.
So, but I always use it because it's just relevant terminology. But if you go and create an online business that then increases your income by 10% each month, you're going to absolutely batter. By the end of that year, you're going to batter that inflation, so much so that you're not going to feel it at all. Like, obviously, 10%, say you're on 5K, so you try and bring in an extra $500 a month. Like, that's going to make a massive difference. Okay. And then keep doing that. So that now it's 5,500. Okay. Now bring that in the next month, and you keep going up. You're not going to feel a difference. Like, I think one of the biggest issues in terms of like the whole make money online niche is everyone's looking at like 10K. I want 10K a month. And I get that's the golden number, but you don't jump to the top of a mountain, do you? Like, you have to walk up the thing. So if you're going to like get into 10K a month, right? Okay, I'm now at 500, I'm now at 1,000, I'm at 1,000, and it takes that time. That is still okay, and that is a success. By building that up. So the way you're going to beat inflation, the way you're going to beat the cost of living, is by bringing in more money. Everybody and his mate can make money online now. It's absolutely ridiculous, even to the point of like, if you just wanted to make a couple of dollars extra a day, you can go on places like Micro Workers and Rapid Workers and go do stupid tasks for like 25 cents, which takes you 2 seconds. Do enough of them a day, you've made an extra $20, $30 a day. Like, and some of these are like a post, share this. It's like, it's not that difficult. It's that easy to make money these days. Like, there's no excuse. And I know that sounds very detached from the struggling person. And I get that. But I'm here to tell you, is like, there's so many different ways. You just have to be creative. So is it harder to make money during these crazy times? Like,
Well, I have to know, because there's a girl who's selling her farts in jars and has made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't know if you saw the article. It was just like probably 2 months ago or a month ago. But I mean, there are so many ways to make money, from selling farts in jars to, affiliate marketing to, there are so many ways. I mean, I think I had it. I mean, we're making money in the play to earn space, which is people who are playing video games for a living. And we rent our in-game currency or in-game assets to these players, and we make money. I mean, and then we've also sold how to do that to other people. We've, if you haven't listened to our episode about how to start a SaaS company and make over $1,000 a month. If not, I mean, we're making quite a bit more than that, a bit more than that. But I mean, there's so many ways to make money online. You just need to find something that you're passionate about. And if you're passionate about it, it's going to keep you motivated to keep doing it. And if you didn't listen to our podcast about failure, I mean, all these things are adding up. And if you just go through and subscribe to the channel and listen to each of these podcasts, you're going to learn a lot of lessons that are going to motivate you to do something you're passionate about making money online or whatever that is. And it doesn't even need to be online. It can be offline too, and be able to actually create a kind of just a security for yourself so you can take your life to that next level.
I completely agree. Like, there's so many, as you say, there's so many different ways, and you've got to be able to go for it. Like, I remember at the start of the pandemic. Yeah, that was that. I've turned into you. I need some coffee. Like, I remember at the start of the pandemic, and people were like, because obviously my main focus at that point was the agency, which obviously spiraled into so many different things. And people are like, oh, you're making money as like an agency, all these businesses shutting down. I was like, no, they're not. The businesses that are surviving are pivoting, and they're pivoting online, which means they need online help. I was like, we actually made a killing during the pandemic. I mean, absolutely made a killing, because so many people needed sales funnels, so many people needed ads, and so many different things, because they were desperate to get online and fight that competition online to go and make their business survive. Like, so we benefited like sounds harsh, but we benefited nicely from the pandemic. Obviously, we brought in more business, got more clients. I seen people like during the pandemic, like became a millionaire by selling those face masks, like importing them in and selling those face masks. Like there's so many different ways that you just have to be ready to step outside of I trade my time for money. Like once you get out of that and it's like success is a debt paid up front, yeah, you're gonna have to do a little bit of work, but it's gonna come back to you tenfold. You just have to ride the wave, be creative, and go for it. Like there's so many different ways.
Not only that, but I mean, real wealth is created during these times. I mean, if we look at Bitcoin was created after the financial crisis in 2007, 2008. I can't remember his name, but he's very popular with ClickFunnels. It's not Russell Brunson, but a guy created a way to help banks and land homeowners not get foreclosed on. And I had him on my podcast. I'm blanking on his name right now, and I really like the guy, but he helped actually smooth the transition from bank and foreclosures and I think he slowed the pandemic by like 2 years. I think one of the forecasters on like the economy actually said that to him and wrote about it in some documentation for the government, and like how they've saved kind of a lot of homeowners, like hundreds of thousands of homeowners in the United States. So, I mean, real fortunes are made during these times. And if you're not building now, I mean, we're super building right now in this market because of fortunes are made in this type of market. I mean, look at like you said, people made millions, if not billions. I mean, you look at the pharmaceutical companies, they've made an absolute killing during the COVID time because of just what they've put out, like all the testing and the masks and all that. Because if you look at the stock market, they were the only ones that were actually benefiting. So I mean, if you're not building now, then like this is the best time, because when there's blood in the street, then people tend to like flee, but this is the best time to actually make true wealth.
Yeah, I'm just literally trying to Google, right? So the price of Bitcoin at the moment, so actually it's took a massive hit, and it happens. So like the price of Bitcoins is just like in the last year has gone down like 45%. And you know what's crazy? Like people are looking at it like in the short, like in that little window, and like depending on where you look at that window, like you're gonna see a bad picture. You know, if you open that picture over a 10-year period, like that will go up, okay, and it will go up. So the best time to buy Bitcoins now. Like the best time to buy Bitcoin was when it first started, but the best time to buy Bitcoins right now. And
what did they say? The best time to invest was 10 years ago, and the second best time to invest is today. And because you can look at stocks, you can look at Netflix. Netflix is down 60%. Facebook is down 70%. All the big names are down in stocks and crypto. I mean, luckily for us, our house has doubled in the last year, just with inflation and all sorts of different things. But that's going to come down a little bit too. But I mean, then again, there is a shortage, and the interest rates are very, very high right now, so people can't buy. But if you have cash, people are going to be selling their houses for a little bit cheaper than they are now. And you can actually, because buyers can't afford. I think this is the lowest like property that people have been able to, I can't remember the statistic exactly, but essentially there's such a huge shortage, and this is the lowest of interest, more like people applying for mortgages. It's the lowest it's ever been in like the last 10 years. And so that's going to put it's going to put it into a buyer's market, because housing prices are going to come down, but people can't buy because interest rates are so high. So if you have cash, you're going to scoop up some amazing deals. I know a lot of retail, like commercial investors and whales are kind of holding off right now, but the largest people right now that are retail investors are buying with cash and are doing really, really well. So, there's always opportunities, always. So it's just finding the right opportunity and starting today is a great opportunity.
And yeah, it is like, as you say, today is always, it's always better than yesterday in terms of like, you've got to start, you have got to start, guys. Like, as we said at the start of the episode, like one stream of income is not gonna make it for you anymore because of what's going on. And like, if you want true freedom, or even if you just want a bit of stability, by trying to increase your income by an extra $500 a month each month is going to change the game. And is it harder to make money during these times? No, you just need to look in the right places. More people are trying to make money online, which obviously makes, for instance, like my courses obviously more attractive because people need to learn how to do it, because people need to make money. So even as if for instance you were a promoter of Passive Buddies Accelerator, you'd find it easier if you went to the right place, found the right person, and touched on the right like income goal or right desire for them. You will sell, okay? Because people now understand that it's one stream of income isn't good enough. Your job isn't safe. And if you truly want to survive in this world, you've got to take matters into your own hands.
Yep. I 100% agree with that. And if you guys haven't checked out the Passive Buddies Accelerator, you definitely should. There'll be a link down below, and start really taking advantage of his failures and how he's been able to monetize them, so that it puts you guys in the right courses, so you don't really have those same mistakes and lose that time, because Brian's already made those mistakes and has been able to create a really amazing program for you guys. So definitely check that out down below. But what are some final thoughts you want to end this podcast on?
Is that what it is now? We're racing to get that question in. My final thoughts is, like, again, I think it goes back to a little bit of the last episode. Like, yeah, like failure's around, scarcity's here, and it's a crazy world we live in. But just because it's crazy and just because other people are affecting markets and food prices, it doesn't mean you can't take matters into your own hands. And it doesn't mean you have to fall susceptible to what is going on. You are in control more than you realize if you choose to. If you choose to be creative and you choose to work to not just survive, but thrive, then it still is a great time to make money. In the online space, in any space, you just need to know how to pivot and learn how to pivot, market, and sell.
Yeah, and I'm gonna end it with this. 40% of all money was created like in the last 2 years. It's not like that money has disappeared. There's a lot of money out there, and you just need to be the one who's going to put, like, the stream of cash flow doesn't just disappear or dry up. Like, you just need to know where to put your hooks. And if you're able to do that, you can make a lot of money, no matter what time or day or event that's occurring, because there's always going to be money going somewhere.
I love that, like, because it's not like they just sit there and burn it and it just disappears, is it? It's like it's moved into different pots that are now different priorities. So it's just about finding those pots and getting it back out.
Exactly.
Awesome. Okay, guys, thank you so much for today's episode, listening, and Oshie giving us a follow. Any comments or anything, please drop them below, and we'll be great to answer them. And I will see you on the next episode.
Peace.